I am a huge fan of the Golden Girls. Honestly, I feel like when people always talk about Sex in the City and like which character are you or like assigned characters to other characters, I feel like it should be Golden Girls. Like, which Golden Girl character are you? That's what I'm way more interested in. So, as a huge fan of the show, I was so excited to find this book, which is Murder by Cheesecake. Yes, that's right. We have a Golden Girls cozy murder mystery series starting this year, and I honestly could not have asked for anything better. Like, I feel like it just goes hand in hand, even though it might not seem necessarily like it, but just to add this cast of characters to some type of mystery going on. This is the first in a new series. However, I could only find information about this one particularly, so I don't know if maybe once this is closer to coming out, we'll find more about what's going to be on in the next series, but I'm just excited for all the possibilities of this, and I feel like, honestly, it doesn't even feel that out of pocket reading this book, because it's like, I could see where you're like, Golden Girls murder mystery, like they're just the Golden Girls. What are they doing? But I feel like the Golden Girls, the show itself, dealt with like serious issues and things on a lot of episodes. So it doesn't feel completely out of turn to now put them in a murder mystery and have them solving that. Now, this book does come out in April, but I was really excited to be able to find it and get a sneak preview of it. It is so amazing. I didn't realize that this year is the 40th anniversary of the Golden Girls originally premiering. I just like literally, first of all, okay, I saw Murder by Cheesecake and I was like, okay, that sounds like an amazing book. I need to read that. And then when I picked it up and saw the cover, and I was like, are those my Golden Girls on this cover? And I was just so excited. So yeah, it really does feel like an episode of the Golden Girls. The backstory premise of it is that Rose has a cousin from St. Olaf who's getting married, and the place that they wanted to get married in St. Olaf burned down, so she decides to invite them all to Miami. They'll have the wedding here and do all the like St. Olaf traditions that they would up there, just in Miami. So she's juggling kind of the juxtaposition of like trying to prove that like she's still like a St. Olaf girl, you know, because like all her cousins and the people from town that are coming are like, you can't pull off a St. Olaf wedding not in St. Olaf, and just kind of not rooting for her to fail in a way, because like that's not obviously the St. Olaf way, but just kind of doubting her in that way. I think Rose gets underestimated and doubted a lot. So she's trying to pull all this off. She's trying to make the couple happy. She's trying to make the in-laws happy. She's trying to make the St. Olafians happy. And it's just a lot of pressure on her. Now, the pressure, we shall say, is increased when at one of the first events they have for the wedding at the hotel that like is owned by her cousin's soon-to-be husband, there is a dead body found in the freezer in the cheesecake specifically that Rose had made. And not only is it a dead body, but it is the dead body of someone that Dorothy had taken on a date for the wedding. So suspicions are high on like what exactly is happening, and they want to solve this mystery, not only to make it so the wedding goes off without a hitch, but also to help kind of clear Dorothy's name, since she is the one, like, you know, if you date the guy and then he shows up dead at the wedding, that doesn't look good on paper, you know? So that is kind of the central mystery of this. I will say that if you're looking for like a full mystery book, I think this is later on the mystery, and it makes sense because like obviously these girls are not detectives. Like, I feel like if you're looking for like full on like finding clues, investigating all this stuff, like they do their own investigation, but it feels realistic to like what they would be able to do. They're not like breaking and entering into a police station or like interrogating people. It's like they're kind of doing their own reconnaissance that they can, and I think that also helps it feel more like an episode. Like, truly the best way I could describe this, and this is the highest compliment, is this is like reading a supersized special episode. Like, it just felt like you're reading like maybe like a 1-hour edition of the show that's just like about the wedding and everything. And I think it's a huge credit to the author, because she really nails not only the tone, the setting, but the characters so well. I will say in this one, because obviously it's Rose's cousins and everything and her wedding and Dorothy's date, that there is kind of more of a focus on those two in particular. We get all the point of views of all 4 of the ladies, but I think those two in particular really have like their moments and like their character development throughout the book more so than Blanche and Sophia, but that's why I think it will be cool if this like more come out in the series to see like what other ones could be, because I could so see like Sophia getting wrapped up in something, Blanche getting wrapped up in something, and them having their own moments to shine. So it is really, really fun in how in character it feels. Like there was even a moment reading it where I was so sucked in and I was like, this would be a great TV show. And then I looked at myself and I was like, we actually can't make this a TV show for multiple reasons. You know? It's just such a credit that they all feel so in character. I am personally a Sophia fan. She's my girl. I love them all, but like Sophia just has my entire heart. So like they had to nail Sophia for me, and I am so happy to report that they do. She is full of her signature Sophia Petrilla quips and sarcasm and sass, and I absolutely love that. I think, again, it didn't feel completely out of character to put them in this situation, because I feel like, I mean, the first episode is like Blanche almost accidentally marrying a polygamist. So it's like, it's not like they're just like doing these like zany things, or like these things just like happen to them. Like I feel like it felt honestly like something that they would just accidentally find themselves in, you know, because that is kind of the circumstances of it. I also think starting the series with it being so heavily focused on Rose and like the St. Olaf stuff was a very smart choice, because it's something that definitely like sticks out in your mind, but also because of like all the St. Olaf stuff we've heard and how like wild and out there it is, you can add in your own stuff, and we're just like, yeah, I bet that happens. Like there's like pounds of herring that we need, and I'm like, yeah, I guarantee you that is a St. Olaf thing. So I think it was a really smart choice to make it to also tie in like Dorothy and Rose having like pretty big stakes in this, and then Blanche and Sophia obviously wanting to help them out. I think there is again that emphasis on friendship, which is what it should always be about, but again, like when the stakes are as high as they are with this, with Dorothy's date being murdered and then Rose trying to pull off this wedding and figure everything out, like that's really when you need your besties, and like they really rally around them, and it's just really, really sweet. I again was so happy to find it was so in character, like even reading them. I think the funny thing is, the only thing that like, and it's not even like you're like, oh, it's just like, oh, is getting to hear like their thoughts, because that's the only thing about a TV show, you don't really ever get to hear like their thoughts. So like hearing what they think of like themselves and each other and their doubts, and like even Rose specifically, like a lot of this is about her being underestimated, like I said, and her knowing that like, you know, she can't always figure everything out, but she tries her best and she's very tenacious. And I think her being underestimated for a lot of this by the people from St. Olaf was really interesting too, because it's like she has, I think for the most part, nothing but good things to say and good memories from that place. But I think it also paints a more realistic picture of like, this isn't just like the Whovilles of America just like hanging out, loving each other. Like they do have their own conflicts and everything, and it's again that kind of like tradition versus modernism kind of like she's left St. Olaf, so a lot of them think like she can't be part of St. Olaf, like she's just left those traditions behind, she's a Miami girl and all that, and it's her kind of showing that like she still does really carry those traditions with her in her heart, and has also like been part of Miami and is like a new person, but it's like she hasn't left St. Olaf behind, she's not fully adapted to Miami. She's like the best of both worlds, and that's what she's trying to pull off in the wedding, a la Hannah Montana. So overall, I just think it was really, really cute. I don't want to say too much about the story since it's like obviously not out yet, but again, I think for a murder mystery, the only thing I could see people maybe having problems with is that like it's definitely more wedding focused and not necessarily so murder investigation focused. But again, I think that's realistic for like who they are. Like if you threw these girls in here and were like saying that they're like breaking into the police station and like interrogating people and figuring out like all these like clues, Sherlock Holmes style, I would be like, okay, this is a fun book, but it doesn't feel like Golden Girls. I like that they went the route of making it more realistic as you can, of being that they kind of do what they can. They talk to the people that they can. They kind of like undercover at the wedding, like use that to figure out like clues and things like that can happen. I will say when it is revealed like who the murderer is, again, it feels more of like a, like if you watch Hallmark movies where everything kind of wraps up in 5 minutes, but again, that feels in theme with this book, so none of it ever feels like rushed or fast or anything like that. Like it just all feels like it fits the theme perfectly of you should be feeling like you are reading an extra long special episode of Golden Girls, and that's exactly what it does. Like Blanche, Rose, Sophia, Dorothy, they all feel so in character, and it's just really, really fun because, I mean, obviously it's not like the same writers from the show or anything like that, but it does feel like getting to see another edition of characters that you thought you'd never get something new from, and it feels realistic to how they are. Like, it does feel like, again, I'm watching like a long lost episode of Golden Girls with how like in character they feel and how the story doesn't feel like totally out of pocket or anything. Like, it really feels like something that these girls could have just stumbled into themselves. I think it takes a while for the actual murder mystery to get going, but I also think that the payoff for that is that there's a lot of buildup that makes it so like everything kind of connects when it does, and you're not kind of like, wait, where did this come from or anything, and then they can set things off that were set up earlier, if that makes sense. Again, I'm trying to be like so like not spoilery about it because literally just like you have to read it. If you like Golden Girls, you have to read it. I just don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, they're full on gonna be like breaking in. It's Golden Girls mystery. Like, it's like them, what you would expect on the show, their level. And I just absolutely loved it. Again, I loved getting to hear like more of the St. Olaf traditions. It felt so like in character, which I think is the best thing. You literally feel like you're just watching these characters come to life again and deal with a murder mystery this time instead of like, you know, eloping or whatever they've gone through. So I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm so excited that it's going to be the first in a new series because I think just the possibilities are endless. And like I said, I could definitely see like other ones in the series being more focused on Blanche or Sophia, or this one was focused on Dorothy and Rose a lot, but definitely like I could see them all having like their moment and the mystery of what happens to them. I think would be really fun. I also really like when it's like connected, so I hope they do that where it's like by their like fourth mystery that they're solving, they're like, we've done this before, we've got this. But I'm excited. I think it's really just a fun homage, and you can tell that like the author really truly loves the Golden Girls and understands the Golden Girls and their characters. And it was just such a fun, pleasant surprise to read and to have it be as good as it was, because I think like even if it wasn't good, I was like, I'm gonna enjoy it because it's the Golden Girls. But to have it feel so in character and in the show and everything like that was just the cherry on top of the cheesecake. So I really, really loved it. I highly recommend you guys all check it out when it comes out. And if you are interested in reading it, let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments and who your favorite Golden Girls is and everything like that. And yeah, I'm just excited that it's like a new series coming out. I think it's absolutely perfect. Like literally there are some things that sometimes you're just like, this was like, if I could have a genie and ask for something, this is what I would. And the fact that I didn't have to do that and worry about like all the secret clauses that a genie would throw in if I made a wish like this just makes it all the more great. So yeah, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It's so fun, it's so engaging, and I can't wait to read it over and over again and see what else happens in the series. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!